Hello, my wonderful students. Today we're going to be doing our Chapter 9 review. The Chapter 9 review actually starts on page number 695. And so we're going to do that some together and some I'll have you do on your own. We're on page 695. We've got our Chapter 9 test coming tomorrow. So you're going to want to make sure you pay attention, and if you don't get something or are still really struggling with something in this math lesson, make sure you pop back onto Zoom to ask me for help. We're going to just do the vocab check. Fractions that have the same denominator, such as 1/3 and 2/3, are either equivalent fractions, mixed numbers, least common denominator, unlike fractions, or like fractions. So their denominators are alike, so they are like fractions. Fractions that have the same value, so they are worth the same. Those are equivalent. You notice that equal word. You kind of see equal in there. These are equivalent fractions. They have the same value. So let's cross that one off. The blank of 5, 6, and 7/12 is 12. So we've only got mixed number, least common denominator, and unlike fractions. So yeah, it's going to be the least common denominator. The least common denominator of those two is 12. And cross that one off. A number that has a whole number part and a fraction part is called a, you can't see it. A number that has a whole number and a fraction part is called a mixed number. For example, 1 and 1/3 has a whole number and a fraction. And an example of two unlike fractions is 1/8 and 3/4. They're unlike because the denominators are not the same. We have an 8 and a 4. Okay, we're going to skip those three because we actually did not do that rounding lesson. So go ahead and skip that and turn the page. Okay, we are going to do number 9, 10, and 11. And these are adding fractions, and so I want you to go ahead and try and do these on your own. You will notice that for all 9, 10, and 11, the denominators are already the same. The denominators are already the same. So remember, your steps are to 1, check the denominator, make them like fractions if they aren't, and then add or subtract, whatever it tells you. So go ahead and try and do 9, 10, and 11. Pause here and then come back and check your work. Okay, so we have 5/9 plus 1/9. I always like to stack mine. I check the denominators. They are the same. They are alike, so I don't have to do anything. So I'm going to add the numerators. 5 plus 1 is 6. And keep the denominator, 9. 6/9. But I can simplify it. What can I divide out of both 6 and 9? A 3. I divide 6 by 3 to get 2, and 9 divided by 3 to get 3. So my answer here is 2/3. For number 10, I have 6/7 plus 1/7. I check, are my denominators the same? They are. I don't have to make them alike because they already are, so I add the numerator. 6 plus 1 is 7, and I keep the denominator. 7/7 is the same as 1 whole. The answer there is 1. 7/7 is 1 whole. And then the last one here, 5/8 plus 1/8. I check, are my denominators the same? They are, so I can just add or subtract the numerator. This is adding. 5 plus 1 is 6. I'm going to put it up here. And I write my denominator. I ask myself, can I divide anything out of both the top and the bottom? Is it simplified? They're both even, so I know I can take out a 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. We remember our simplifying rules that if the numbers are 1 away from each other, it's always simplified. If the numerator is 1 less than the denominator, it's always simplified. Okay, now I want you to do 12, 13, and 14. I want you to do the next row and pay attention to these. You're still adding, but notice they don't start with like denominators. They don't start with like denominators, so you're going to have to write this 3/5 plus 1/10. Step 1, check the denominator. It's not the same, so we have to make like denominators, and then we're going to add the numerators. So go ahead and pause here and try to do 12, 13, and 14, and then we'll come back and check your work. Okay, so on this one, you can certainly write out multiples of these numbers, but I like to start with the bottom, the lowest one, and skip count up. 5, 10. Ooh, 10. We've already got a 10, so we only have to change one of them. This one is a freebie. We just keep 1/10. 3/5 equals something over 10. So I'm going to ask myself, 5 times what gives me 10? 5 times 2. I do the same thing to the top that I did to the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. My denominator is the same. I add the numerators. 6 plus 1 is 7. Rewrite the denominator. I ask myself, is it simplified? Well, 7 is a prime number. It's only divisible by 1 and itself. I can't divide 10 by 7, so I know that that one is done. 7/10. Okay, on 13, you did 1/2 plus 1/8. Denominators are not the same. You're going to have to get like denominators. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Ooh, I can multiply this up to an 8. 2 times what is 8? 2 times 4. Do the same thing to the top that I did to the bottom. 1 times 4 is 4. Now, on this one, it's a freebie. It's already an 8. I just get to keep it. My denominators are the same. I add the numerator. 4 plus 1 is 5. Bring down your denominator of 8. Is it simplified? 5 is a prime number. It's only divisible by 1 and 5. I can't divide 8 by 5, so I know it is simplified. Okay, let's do number 14. I've got 2/7 plus 5/14. 2/7 plus 5/14. I check, are my denominators the same? They are not. I have to get like denominators. Start with my lowest number and skip count. 7, 14. Ooh, 14. That's as far as I have to go, and I get a freebie. So 7 times what gives you 14? 7 times 2. Do the same thing to the top that you did to the bottom. We're making an equivalent fraction. 2 times 2 is 4. This one I just rewrite. I get to keep it. It's already in a 14th. They're already speaking the same language. Now I add the numerators. 4 plus 5 is 9. I keep the denominator. Now I ask myself, is that in simplest form? Well, my factors of 9 are 1. Factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. Can I divide 14 by 9 evenly? No. Can I divide 14 by 3 evenly? No. 1 is my greatest common factor. That means it is my final answer. It is simplified. Okay, you know where we're going next. I want you to do numbers 15, 16, and 17 on your own, and we're going to come back and check your work. Do number 15, 16, and 17. They're mixed numbers. They're mixed numbers, and so we're going to stack them up. I'll set this one up. A big 6 and 3/4. Get that lined up, plus a big 2 and 2/4. Go ahead and add that one together for me. Okay, let's check your work. If you haven't finished it yet, make sure you pause the video. I can ignore my whole numbers to start with. I can ignore them and just take care of the fractions. So I've got 3/4 plus 2/4. Ooh, my denominators are the same, so I can just add the numerators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/4. Now that's actually a fraction greater than 1, right? The number on top is bigger than the number on bottom. So I can take off that extra 1 whole, or 4/4. 5/4 minus 4/4 equals 1/4. And this one is going to go all the way up to my whole numbers. So I have 6, 7, 8 plus 1 is 9. So my answer here is 9 and 1/4. And if you got 8 and 5/4, you were very close. You just need to convert this improper fraction into a mixed number. And to do that, you divide 5 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. That's your whole number. And then times 4. There's 1 left over and 1/4. 1 and 1/4. Okay. Number 16, we had 1 and 1/12 plus 3 and 2/12. You can ignore the whole numbers to start with. 1/12 plus 2/12. The denominators are the same. I just add the numerators. 1 plus 2 is 3, and rewrite my denominator. Now I go to whole numbers. 1 plus 3 is 4. Now can I simplify that anyway? Can I simplify that? The factors of 3 are just 1 and 3. Can I divide 12 by 3? I can. So I'm going to divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So your answer on this one is 4 and 1/4. 4 and 1/4. Okay, last one, you guys, on this. Number 17 is 12 and 1/3 plus 6 and 2/6. Now remember, you can ignore the whole numbers to start with. And let me put our line there. So I have 1/3 plus 2/6. So that's exactly like we did up here. We have to get a common denominator. I can skip count by my lower number, 3, 6. Ooh, I can use 6. That means I get a freebie here. I can just rewrite 2/6. That one is just the same. 1/3 equals something over 6. We're changing that denominator to 6. 3 times what gives you 6? 3 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. My denominator is the same. I add the numerators. 2 plus 2 is 4. I keep the denominator. Now I go to my whole numbers. 12 plus 6. I know that's 18. Can I simplify 4/6? Well, they're both even, so I know I can take out at least a 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this answer is 18 and 2/3. 18 and 2/3. You guys are doing great. We're almost done with this review. Keep up the good work. This time we're subtracting. We're doing the same thing. We're getting our answers and putting them in simplest form. 7/16 minus 3/16. I check, are my denominators the same? They are. So now I just subtract the numerator. 7 minus 3 is 4, and I write the denominator. Now, can I simplify 4/16? I can divide it by 2, but I also can divide it by 4. I'll save a step. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So my answer here is 1/4. Okay, let's do number 19. Actually, you try to do number 19 and 20, please, on your own. Go ahead and try and do 19 and 20 on your own, and then come back and check your work. Complete number 19 and 20 on your own. Okay, this is what you should have done. 11/12 minus 7/12. My denominators are the same. Great. I just subtract the numerator. 11 minus 7, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. And I rewrite the denominator, 4/12. Can I simplify 4/12? Can I divide anything out of both 4 and 12? Well, I can divide 2 out, but I also, well, let's do 2. Say you thought of 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I can divide another 2 out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I know I'm done because I have a 1 in the top. Anytime you have a 1 in the numerator, you know you are completely finished simplifying. Number 20, 4/5 minus 2/5. The denominators are the same. I subtract the numerators. 4 minus 2 is 2. Rewrite my denominator. Am I simplified? Well, the factors of 2 are only 1 and 2, and I can't divide 5 by 2, so yes. Didn't really give myself room there, did I? 2/5. We've got 3 more problems on this page, you guys. 3 more problems. 8/9 minus 5/6. So we're going to write it 8/9 minus 5/6. I always like to stack up my adding and subtracting of fractions. I always like to stack them up. And now we have to get a common denominator because we don't have one. So let's skip count by 6's. 6, 12, no, 18. Ooh, 18. 9 can go into 18 and 6 can go into 18. So we're going to change both of them. Equals something over 18 equals something over 18. We're going to change both. So now I'm going to ask myself, 9 times what gives me 18? 9 times 2. I do the same thing to the top that I did to the bottom. I write that times 2 again. 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, I've got 1 done. Now I've got to do the bottom one. 6 times what gives you 18? 6 times 3. Do the same thing to the top that you did to the bottom. So I've got 5 times 3 is 15. Now I have 16 eighteenths minus 15 eighteenths. My denominators are the same, so I can subtract the numerators. We're doing a subtraction problem. 16 minus 15 is 1, and I keep the denominator. And I know it's simplified because I have a 1 in the numerator. Okay, 2 more, you guys. 11 twelfths minus 7 eighths. First, I check the denominators. Are they alike? They are not alike. So I'm going to have to find something that they both can go into. So I'm going to skip count by my lowest number. 8, 16, 12 can't go into 8, 12 can't go into 16. Keep counting. 8 times 3 is 24. Can 12 go into 24? It can. Okay, so I'm going to change the denominator to 24 on both of these. We're going to make equivalent fractions for both of these. Now, how do I get to those equivalent fractions? So 12 times what gives you 24? 12 times 2. I do the same thing to the top that I did to the bottom. 11 times 2 is 22. Okay, we got 1 done. Let's do the bottom. 8 times what is 24? 8 times 3. I do the same thing to the top that I did to the bottom. 7 times 3 is 21. Now I have common denominators, so I just add or subtract the numerator. 22 minus 21 is 1 24th. 1/24. Okay, last one, you guys, for today. I want you to do number 23 on your own. Do number 23 on your own. We've got 7 tenths minus 1/5. 7 tenths minus 1/5. Go ahead and do that one on your own, and then come back and check your work. Okay, so you should have skip counted by 5s to see, ooh, yes, 10. 10 can be my denominator, and that means I've got a freebie. I can just rewrite that one. Now, 5 times what gives you 10? 5 times 2. Do the same thing to the top that you did to the bottom. 1 times 2 is 2. I have common denominators, so I can add or subtract the numerator. This is a subtraction problem. 7 minus 2 is 5. Rewrite the denominator of 10. Can I divide 5 tenths by anything on the top and the bottom to simplify it? Yes, I can divide both by 5 to simplify. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And you might have known that 5 is half of 10, so that's why your number is half there. Great work, my friends. Keep up the good work. If you were stuck on this, if you could not get those on your own, please come back into Zoom and ask me. I'm also there after the 1 o'clock meeting. Please come and ask me and we'll work on this together. Thanks.